Previously on Bite Size and Baby Steps.
Colin, have you been in my house lately? You're dropping in on Alexa or something.
I make all that. No, Llewella, hang on. Let me just say that. Just in case my mum's listening.
You two getting on my nerves already.
Listen. And you may drop off your seat. I hardly drink water. I hardly drank water. You see, I knew that was going to happen.
Well, tell me, so you don't drink water. Does your pee look like Lucozade?
It's got bubbles. So you just can't get the staff these days.
In it.
You can't talk because you've got the black wife effect.
Oh, okay, all right.
You've got the black wife effect, so you don't count. So how come you never get fat? You're so fine bone and slim. Let's return to part 2 of the Colin Jackson interview. So my problem is I'm really impatient. It's like I eat one salad today, I want to be half a stone lighter tomorrow. And I get discouraged. It's what do you say to yourself to just keep yourself on track? I mean, do you still train now? And now that you're more in the public eye as a presenter and broadcaster, do you feel any pressure to stay in shape? Keep it up, because the one thing we always do, especially when we've got profile, is when you're on television doing your thing, you're all like this, and then a couple of years later we see people in the paper and we're like, look, I don't get fat. You know what I mean? So do you feel any of that pressure, or are you just a wonder kid that you're just gonna, you're Peter Pan, aren't you?
No, I look around at my peers, the people I work right next to, and I work next to people like, Denise Lewis, who's in her 50s, who looks like a goddess, right? Jessica Ennis-Hill looks incredible. Jessica looks like she can still compete tomorrow, Gabby Logan, Paula Radcliffe, Steve Cram, Michael Johnson, they all look amazing. So when you're sitting next to people, you don't want to feel like you're the odd one out. So it means that you got to make sure that you keep yourself in good shape as well. And when you start to understand what it takes to be in good shape, you'll see the difference. It doesn't take that much. Now, I know you're looking at me going, what are you talking about? It doesn't take that much, right?
How much it took me to get out of my bed and go to a spin class?
Right. But you know what the most difficult thing you said there was to get out of bed. Because once you get out of bed, you can do something. If you haven't even had the motivation to get out of bed, that's when you're in trouble.
100%.
So for me, you say to me, you get out of bed, that is a great starting point. It's a great starting point. And that you should really applaud yourself for. And then to take yourself to a spin class is even better. I mean, because trust me, I couldn't do a spin class. So find something that you love. Find a partner that will go with you in that sense, so you can share the responsibilities and share the journey, Max. And then once you're in that environment, then it becomes like a shared goal. And a shared goal is always easier to reach than one being on your own. You can make it a little bit competitive, but always, and I generally mean this, when you do this, be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you're going to struggle. So make sure you're honest with it. And if you have that bag of crisps and that bar of chocolate, don't be saying to people, no, I had salad today and white rice. No. Just tell them the truth. I had the chocolate and I had the bag of crisps, and you don't judge me for it, because that's what I wanted. So I'm on my mission and I know myself. So always trust yourself, always make your goal big and make it yours.
I mean, I was on the phone confessing to Llewella yesterday. I had a day from hell. It was an absolute day from hell. And I was like, you know what? Heads up. I'm just letting you know I am falling off the wagon big time. I'd quit coffee and everything. You know what I mean? And I was just like, hang on 2 seconds. I'm gonna really, need to confess some stuff right here.
Yes. And be good with it. I mean, honestly, confess it. Yes.
Colin, I'm not telling all the story. Tell me about McDonald's quarter pounder.
All right, so I was in court yesterday. All right, I was in court. It was a very stressful time, very, very stressful time. And I had to get back from court, write statements and all. And I knew there was absolutely no way on earth that I was going to be able to get food, get anything. Into the drive-through I went, stuffed my face, back home, burning the midnight oil, and
Okay, so I hear you, Llewella.
McDonald's do salads.
The other thing is, let me ask him another question. Was this court case something that you weren't expecting?
Yes, it was. Yeah, 100%. It came 100% out of the blue.
So out of the blue, we also got to be prepared for diet stuff. There should always be something in the fridge that is there for unexpected circumstances.
Right. Okay.
With that being said, okay, all right. I'm gonna put this back on you then. So when you were training, Colin, right? Okay.
Yeah.
When you were training, when you were going hard in the paint, what were the things that you craved? What were the things that you were like, you know what? Oh man, as soon as camp is over, I am doing this.
Two things: pizza and pecan pie. Now, and then I watched the pecan pie be made, and I went, Lord, I can't have that. Because the amount of calories, there was treacle, there was sugar, there was butter. And when they put the butter in the treacle and just started to melt it down, I was like, that's a heart attack right there in the pan. And then you add pecans and more sugar. I was like, oh, no wonder it tastes so good. But you know, but it was pizza and pecan pie. They were the things that they were my down. But I wouldn't have the whole pie, you know. Like this, maybe.
Yeah. Slice or fork.
yeah.
Right, Max has got a good question for you.
So if you were training Colin Jackson today, like young Colin Jackson today in 2024, what advice would you give him?
I'd say, first of all, don't give me any cheek. Me as a youth, I was quite mouthy. So I would say, yeah, I was like, don't you start with your full business, right? Let's just make that, otherwise you're through the door. So that'd be the first thing I'd say to myself. Then I would definitely say to myself, you know, look after yourself, make sure you have good nutrition, get good sleep, and I think you should drink more water. That's the other thing I would have said.
Bravo. I see exactly what you did there. What you did there.
Definitely get good sleep, because rest as well is a real important part of your whole system, creating its whole balance. So you've got to make sure to rest as well, because that is so important in creating that lovely for your body to do what it needs to do.
So yeah, so back over to late night Llewella over here.
Anyway, how many hours sleep do you get, Colin?
Now?
Yeah.
Or now I get about, I don't know, 6 hours maximum.
Yeah, I'm about 6 hours sometimes.
Yeah, I'm about 6 hours during the day, 12 at night. So
I am envious that see, there's some things like other things I got from my mother. My mother, again, is somebody who hardly sleeps, and I got that gene from her as well. So unfortunately for myself, I picked up that side of her.
Yeah, I'm crossed with a sloth. So you know, I loves my bed. I loves my sleep. I'm like 10 p.m. Yeah, you are not getting hold of me.
I'm panda. I'm a panda. I'm sort of there about till 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm awake. You know what I mean?
I do. I mean, this is what happens when you're doing press-ups at 2 o'clock in the morning, Llewella. I can understand it, right? It just wakes you straight up. Yeah. So you might as well do a couple if you're awake. Do some, just 2 or 3. That was fine. Every hour.
There you go.
You're awake. Yeah.
Right, I've got a question for you. What's the best bit of advice that you have received on health, fitness and lifestyle, or wisdom?
First thing would be always enjoy what you do, because that's the most important thing. If you have fun with it, you will work hard at it. And if you work hard at it, you'll get good at it. So it was a sense of having fun, having a good time, and stay committed. You know, I always say to people to have right and realistic goals. Now, that word realistic goals, you know, that little joining of 2 words is really key, especially when you're trying to think about your diet and your lifestyle. If you're having, you know, Max already said he was in court, right? But if he had a realistic goal in that sense, or it's got to be a right and realistic goal. The right realistic goal, he's in court, I have to have fuel. And that's what I did. So sometimes he won't have that and he will be doing other things. But you've got to think about everything you set as your target. It's got to be realistic to your lifestyle. You don't live like a professional athlete. So don't think you can diet, you can work out, you can have the time of a professional athlete. You have jobs, you have everyday jobs. And those everyday jobs take up a lot of time of your day. So you've got to fit your workload, your lifestyle's got to fit into your work. So think about setting those goals that are accurate, that you can achieve, because achievement makes you feel good about yourself. And every time you feel good about yourself, you'll give yourself another little target and you'll believe that you can achieve. And that's important.
Sounds like something that could go on a t-shirt right there. Believe and achieve, right?
If you can conceive it, you can believe it. If you can believe it, you can conceive it. If you conceive it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, I agree.
Along those lines. But I mean, everybody has those days of self. I definitely suffer with that and imposter syndrome. Has that ever affected you? And what do you do? What do you say to yourself? Or has anybody said anything to you that you've been able to retain in your mind to regenerate that self-belief in times when it's been a challenge?
Yeah, it's a challenge on news occasions, because I can remember when I was a competing athlete, I'd always look at my peers and I never looked as good as them in my mind. You know, I didn't have the six-pack that they had. I didn't have the muscles that they had. You know, I had the performances that they had, but I didn't have the aesthetic look. I put my mind in the wrong zone. I should have put my mind in the right zone, which is like, well, you're performing, sunshine, so you're doing well. But I was having this imagery thing, which I realized was the wrong one to have. And once I broke that barrier, literally in my head, which was to say, are you achieving? Are you delivering? Are you delivering what you expect to deliver? And the answer is yes, yes, yes. Then you're okay. You don't need to worry. So it's giving that sense of stop worrying about what other people do and what other people look like, and just concentrate on yourself and go on your journey. Only you. Close your eyes and fall to sleep at night. Doesn't matter if you're married, if you've got kids, once your eyes close, it's only you and your own thoughts. So make sure they're good ones.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I mean, did you ever find, like, when you were in camp, you know, you were talking about the aesthetic and all the rest of it, and we spoke about cravings earlier. Were there things that you were able to kind of, you said that it's a battle of the mind and getting in the zone. What was the way that you got into the zone in order to kind of get rid of those cravings?
You know what I mentioned, excuse me, earlier on, the importance of having a goal that was bigger than anything else.
Yeah.
And when the goal was bigger than anything else, winning a title, getting a medal, running a fast time, you then just realize how you're going to get there. And if it means I can't have tiramisu and a glass of red wine tonight because I want to run fast tomorrow, then that is what I'm willing to sacrifice. So it's all about making that sacrifice. And I use the word sacrifice. I really don't like using the word sacrifice. I like you having that choice. That becomes my choice, is to do that, because it's not a sacrifice. I always say to people, a sacrifice is working down the mine for 12 hours just to put food on your table. That's a sacrifice. Yeah. What we're doing is a choice. So we choose. So I'm choosing not to have the tiramisu or the red wine because I want to run fast tomorrow. So that was the overwhelming thing. So if you guys were saying, I want to lose, 2 kilos this week, I want to. If you don't really want to, don't say you want to lose 2 kilos. If you want to say I want to lose 1, then just lose 1.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
Does self-belief really factor in that? Because what I think I'm hearing is that the goal has to kind of be bigger than you to keep you committed to it. So that it's just not an option because you've set that goal. But then self-esteem and self-belief also must play a part in that. Because I mean, I want to lose weight, but then now talking to you, I'm like, do I really want to, or do I really believe I can?
I smiled when you say that, because I'm going to give you a little challenge for yourself, right? Because if I can do it, and people walking down the street can do it, Why can't you? You're no worse than them. You have got the same mind power, the same willpower. You just need to get it in you to believe that you absolutely have. And you can go about it in different ways. So, for example, I tell you, when I was young, 15 years old, one coach came up to me. He stopped me on a big training camp. He stopped me when I was 15 and said to me, "You will never make it as a hurdler. You're too small."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Really? I'll show you."
Mm.
And it was a sense of, I'll show you what I can do. And then years gone by, of course, he denied he ever said it and said to me, would I coach his daughter? And I happily said no. But it was there.
Nice.
But, you know, when you've got those little challenges for yourself and you can get, you know, that challenge, you can look at yourself in the mirror literally and go, I'll show you. Because
my belly, I'll show you.
You tell it, yes, because you can do it. I have no doubt. You know, it's like when people can't say, "Oh, I can never speak another language." Well, there's people who can speak 11. That means you can speak another one if you really want to. You just really don't want to. So if you really want to, tell yourself, I am going to do this. And I'm not going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to take small baby steps to get myself to go there. You don't have to take big strides. When you go on your first, you know, if you want to walk a distance, don't think yourself being Paula Radcliffe and you're going to be running it in 2 hours. No, it don't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah. You take your time and get there in your time. Don't rush. Be patient. Because you know what? To put on weight that we put on generally, it's a lot of investment time that, you know, so it's going to take a bit of time to come off.
Yeah, it's so true.
Hard
you
work.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can do it. You can do it. 100%.
Doing them curls, you know, them curls with the Snickers bar.
You know it.
That's it. Go, girls.
That's it. So it's not going to come off overnight. So you've got to say to yourself, of course it can't come off overnight, but you know what? I can do this. I can. I will. I can. And I will.
What do you do for self-care?
Oh, I moisturize.
I knew that was coming. Pond's, cocoa butter, Palmer's, all of that. Yeah,
it's all over me.
Stop doing a name brand. They're not paying us.
Yeah, it's true. You know, I use no brand. But no, I think, you know, I always think to myself, I always try to be happy. That is so important to me. And if it's the last thing I do at night before I go to bed, if I'm watching TV late, I always look for a comedy because I want to go to bed on a smile. I want to feel nice. That sense of loveliness, you know, that's warming. I still eat well. I still exercise as I much like, but nothing like I used to exercise, as you can imagine. So I do something every day.
For how long?
Yeah, about 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's not long. It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not long, and I don't do things like HIIT classes or anything like that. I just churn out. Today, for example, I just did some medicine ball throwing. I coach as well, so I'm still in an environment where I can, you know, throw a medicine ball over my head and do bench press and squats. I'm not saying you should do that.
I had a PT, and I hated doing battle ropes and the medicine ball. Those are my them. You see, that's when you.
And you know what? There's some of the best things you can do. But
they really are.
But adding to that, if you can go out for a walk every single day for about 40 minutes, first thing in the morning will make you feel great. And then the other thing you can do, if you can start working on holding a plank or doing push-ups, again, they're one of the best exercises you could do. And you can do them literally anywhere.
Next time, in part 3 of the Colin Jackson interview.
I raced on the Sunday. I was retired the Sunday night. The Monday, I'm having apple pie, stew peas and rice.
That one. Who would win in a fight, Linford Christie or Chris Akabusi?
Your bite size and baby tip to us to hold a plank.